the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, those who don't conform to the status quo, but see the world differently, united with an inner passion to change the world. We are salespeople, marketers, entrepreneurs, mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters who recognize it's not about what we do in life, but how we do it. We are passionate and create our own destiny using our products, services, and message to change the lives of our customers and the world. We learn from our setbacks and understand there is no such thing as failure if you don't quit. We question the mainstream narrative, and we don't lose sleep on the opinion of others, but are motivated by a calling to think differently, to see differently, to be different. Because we are nonconformists, we are fanatical, we are obsessed, we are freaks.
Hey, welcome. It's Adon here, and today we are having another problem with LinkedIn, it looks like. Anyhow, it is what it is. Okay. Anyhow, so today I want to talk to you about something I was talking to somebody about the other day, and it's talking about the skill sets of selling. And especially nowadays, there are three distinct sets of skills, specific skills that I think are extremely important to be effective in selling. And they are independent of themselves, but they are also united. They're entwined. They're integrated. And so I really think it's important that we get this across. And I have spoken about this before, but I really want to get the point across because when we understand these three specific tasks, then we can start to kind of chunk it. Task 1, task 2, task 3. So what I want to talk to you a bit about today is the 5 pillars of selling. And the first pillar, if you will, is a pillar that I call profit creation. And before we start selling, before we start prospecting and closing, or even maintaining existing customers, we have to get our story straight. We have to understand what differentiates us and how we create value compared to our competitors. There's so many of us out there that are extremely focused on our products and services. We might understand that we need to have a story. We might understand that some of the things we do are different. But in sales, a lot of us revert right back to product pitching and how great our products are and trying to rely on that relationship once we have a customer as well. So we want to make our story part of our identity, or our profit creation message, which is our story, part of our identity when we're selling and when we're marketing. But when we are prospecting, when we're selling, when we're closing, in everything we do, our message, our story, the outcomes we deliver, we have to continually repeat them because customers forget about them. They might feel warm and fuzzy about your story and what differentiates you today. It might help build the bridge and get them to become a customer tomorrow. But 9 times out of 10, they start to forget about that. As time moves on, they forget. And then they start forgetting about the value you bring, and they start just seeing your product, your service. And they are detached from the story or the identity that you bring with it. And that's a real shame. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we have a story. Now, what do I mean by a story? Well, coming from the cleaning sector, it's easy for me to relate the story that way. So I'll use that as the example. 90% of the marketplace in the cleaning industry are out on a daily basis pound the pavement saying, we'll clean your facility, right? We'll do it cheaper, we'll do it faster, we'll do whatever, we'll clean your facility. And the customer wants a clean facility, obviously. Now, it might be a little bit more important to the buyer right now because of COVID, but I'm betting that subsides substantially as well, although hopefully it doesn't. But I'm betting that once everything goes back to normal, they will put cleaning at a low value again. So customers don't value cleaning because they think anyone can do it. They just think the place needs to look clean. And the story that we deliver, the outcomes that we deliver in cleaning is what separates us, right? It's the improved indoor air quality. It's the reduced improvement in health and safety. It's the reduction and eradication of regulatory compliance issues. It's the improved productivity. It is the improved cognitive function. It is the improved productivity, is the reduced sick days, it is the reduced absenteeism, it is the improved math scores, it is the improved reading scores, it is the reduction in water consumption, it is the reduction in electricity. It is so many things that is the story of cleaning. And so when we're selling, we have to have our story. And when we have our story, it differentiates us. Then we create differentiation. Now, not a lot of people even know about the outcomes in the story I'm telling you about. But if someone does, can they copy my story? Of course they can. Can they go and give that same story to somebody else, to my competitors? Of course they can. But that's where becoming part of your culture, part of your identity, and you reminding the customer over and over and over again on the value you bring allows them to maintain that value in their mind, and therefore they pay a higher price, they perceive more value, and you are more valuable to them. So having your story is critical. When we get into pillar 2, it's positioning, right? And then pillar 3 is prospecting. So I'll use these two together. Your story helps position you, create differentiation, but it also helps you prospect. And your prospecting positions you. Okay, so when you are out into the marketplace as a sales professional, in trying to get in the door, your story is what positions you. And you prospect with your story, creating differentiation. So when you leave, someone doesn't sit there and go, oh, there's another salesperson trying to sell me cleaning at a far expensive price compared to what I'm paying now. You are telling them a story where they're going, geez, I'd like to improve cognitive function by 61%. I would like to improve productivity. I would like to reduce sick days. I would like to make sure I don't get I'm regulatory compliant. I would like to reduce health and safety. I would like to improve indoor air quality. Not everyone can deliver those. And so when you position your prospect with a story, you're positioning yourself and you're prospecting. And it's just so critical that you get it and that you understand it, so that you now have your story and you prospect with it and you get yourself in the door. Now, what happens a lot of the times, you get in the door, you have a meeting, you have a face-to-face, and now you start pitching your product or service, and you don't go any further. Once you get in the door, you want to be able to close the door, right? You want to lock up that account, close the door, and be able to grow that prospect, that customer, and create value and continue to grow them. So they buy one product, then 2 products, and they buy all your products and services, and you're adding a massive amounts of value. That's obviously the ideal relationship. So we have our story, and then we position and that through marketing, right? Through our message. It could be through email, it could be through text, it could be standing in front of them, talking to them, it could be through a traditional letter, it could be through the radio. It's your message, right? What is your message? So that's a marketing, that's a prospecting part. And then we get into pillar 4 and pillar 5, which are the sales tactics. So you get in the door through your marketing, and now when you're in front of them, now it's your job to persuade and present your solution. You persuade by building up the pain, by creating and talking to them from where your customer is to where they want to be. So where they are is they have someone cleaning 1 day a week, really cheap. And where they want to get to is they want to get to where their employees they're reducing their sick days, where their employees are performing at higher levels of productivity. That's where they want to get to. And so you prospect to create the attention. You build that bridge through persuasion, through questioning skills to get them to recognize just how wide of a gap they are from where they would like to be. They didn't know where they wanted to be until you started marketing and prospecting. They didn't know indoor air quality, health and safety, reduced regulatory compliance, improved math scores, all these things. They didn't know those were available. But now they do. So now you have to show them how far apart they are, not by telling them, but by asking questions, but which helps them identify where they are to where they're wanting to go. There's that chasm, right? And you want to help them cross the chasm to the promised land. And you do that through your persuasion and then presenting the solution. They kind of go hand in hand. So it's important to recognize the 5 pillars of selling is completely underpinned by your message, by your story. And so I'd ask you for today, for your takeaway, is what is your story? What's the story, Morning Glory, right? What is your story? What's your point of differentiation? And why should someone buy from you? What at a higher price? That is the $1 million question. So I hope you found this of value. I'm Adon Rigg. You've been watching Sales Freak. We come to you every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific time. Marketing Freak on Thursdays, 12 p.m. Pacific time. And Clean Freak on Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. And I'm having a little bit of issue. I'll see you in the next episode.